Okay, hello everyone. My name is Matt, and if you're new here, welcome on in. And if you're a returning viewer, it's great to see you again. This is my Makers podcast here on YouTube that I mainly talk about knitting, but sometimes I do talk about some other things as well, since I do enjoy making things by hand. So if there's anything else that I've made during the couple weeks that I've between the videos, I'll talk about it here. But like I said, it is mainly a knitting podcast. So yeah, I normally come out with a video every 2 weeks or so. I believe this is episode number 8, which is kind of crazy. So it's been 16 weeks already since I've started posting here on YouTube. And I believe we're over 80 subscribers now, which is kind of crazy. And just wanted to say thank you to everyone who subscribed and who enjoys watching the videos. I hope to come out with more videos that you'll enjoy, and I just kind of like making videos similar to what I like to watch, so I hope that other people will enjoy watching what I put out there. But yeah, this week, or this video, I have quite a few finished objects and quite a few new casts on. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So I'll just start off with what I'm wearing this week, which is my first finished object. And this is what I'm calling my Kazuha Vest, because it is inspired by a member of Le Seraphim's group, Kazuha, who wore a vest that I really fell in love with in one of their anniversary pictures. So I wanted to recreate something very similar to the vest. I believe her vest was either crocheted or machine made. It definitely wasn't knit, but I really liked the look of the stripes and stuff like that. So I got inspired by that and decided to alter the alter the Stockholm slipover V-neck by Petite Knit, since I had made that a couple times previously and wanted to make a vest for myself with the using an altered striped pattern that I came up with myself based off the vest. So this is it here. It's all finished. The one thing I will say is that, I don't know if you can see, probably unless I say something, I picked up one too many stitches on this side or one too few stitches. So the V-neck is a little unsymmetrical, but it doesn't really bother me since it's a vest for myself, so, and not a gift for someone else, so I don't really mind. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. This is kind of my first project where I took an existing pattern and kind of tweaked it myself for the stripes. So I did do quite a bit of math to figure out kind of how long the stripes I would need, or how many stripes I would need and how long it would go. But yeah, I'll talk about the yarn I used for this. So the yarn I used for this was the Sandisgarn Sunday, and I used it for all 3 of the colors. So I believe the green is called Pine, it's a Petite Knit colorway. The cream is called Almond, I believe, which is also a Petite Knit colorway. And then the brown, I believe, is called Dark Chocolate. I'm not sure if it's a Petite Knit colorway or not, but yeah, so, and then holding that together, I held the green with Filcolana, and then in the green colorway, and which is just a soft silk mohair, and then by, or Filcolana Tilia, which is a soft silk mohair. And then for the cream and brown, I held it with the tin silk mohair by Sandisgarn in the matching colors as well. So yeah, it did take me a little bit of time because I had put it away for a bit while I moved to South Korea. But once I got to South Korea, I picked it back up again. I normally like to work on one garment and one vest, and then maybe one accessory at a time. So this was the vest I was working on, and tried to finish it just before it turned fall here in South Korea. So yeah, I finished it just in time, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Like I said in other videos, I have become a really big vest enjoyer ever since I started knitting. I think they're just kind of the perfect garment or kind of layering piece that you can wear on top of a collared shirt, or even just a regular shirt or something like that. And then you can change kind of the shirt that you wear it on top of, and you can get so many different looks on top of that. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. It's very soft with the Sandisgarn Sunday Merino, and then the Filcolonatilia. I'm really impressed with how soft the soft silk mohair is for that brand as well. So I'll definitely use it more in the future, and have used it in another finished object that I will talk about coming up as well. But yeah, this is my Kazuha Vest, and yeah, what I'm wearing. So now let's dive into my finished objects. Including this vest, I have 4 finished objects this week, so quite a bit. So I'll just jump into my second one here. And my second one here is another bucket hat. So the last episode I had showed you my first bucket hat that I made that I really enjoyed making from a YouTube video. And I had bought this hand spun yarn in the Muskoka Yarn and Fiber Festival in Bracebridge, and I really fell in love with it. It was a green and pink with a little bit of cream hand spun. I believe it's merino and tinsel, but I only had one skein, and it was about 153 yards, 173 yards maybe, or meters, and I wasn't sure what to make with it. I was thinking about knitting a hat, but I just couldn't find a pattern that I was sure that I wouldn't run out of yarn while making it. I know I could maybe have started or done a top-down hat knitting wise, but again, I wasn't sure how much I would have. So yeah, I thought about it, and I thought, based on my last bucket hat, that I just would have just enough to crochet this one with the perfect amount of yarn, and it would add a little bit of a different color based on my other bucket hat, which was kind of white, black, and purple. This one just adds another kind of different color palette, so maybe a different style in case I wanted to wear something a little bit different. But yeah, this style of hat in Korea is very popular right now. You see a lot of girls and ladies wearing it, so yeah, pretty stylish, and I'm really happy that I used this yarn for this one. It's the same pattern based off that YouTube video from my last video that I talked about. I believe it's by Bamimsi, but I'll put the link in the description below. But it's just a crocheted bucket hat, and you just basically do double crochets throughout and follow the pattern for the increases on each row and how many rows to do. Because this yarn was a little bit thinner than when I held the DK double for my last hat, I did do a couple more rows than one more row of increase, and then a couple more rows of that amount to make it a little bit longer so that it fit better. But yeah, I used the hand spun yarn, and I held it together with some, I believe it was ec.08 colorway of the sand or Isiger alpaca lace. So I believe it's alpaca 1. So I just had a little bit of that, and I just held it together. I don't know if you can see on camera, but I held it together just to add a little bit of structure. But yeah, that's my second finished object for the week, and another crocheted bucket hat. So not a knitting finished object, but a crocheted finished object. Oh, I actually have one more finished object that I forgot about. So I actually have 5 finished objects this week, and my second finished object is... Okay, so my next finished object is another weekend hat by Petite Knit. So I actually haven't washed and blocked this yet, but this is it here. This is my third weekend hat by Petite Knit. I found here a very nice hand-dyed skein from Felici Punto in Korea when I was here. That was on sale in the colorway Squirrel. This is it here. And it is 70% baby alpaca, 20% seda. It's in Italian or Spanish, so I don't know. I believe it's silk, 20% silk, and then 10% cashmere. And it is 225 meters per 100 gram skein. The only change that I made for this one was I wasn't sure based on how much yarn I would have, if I would have enough to completely do the full hat with one skein. So normally the weekend hat, you do a triple fold like this, But for this one, I opted to skip the triple fold and just did a double fold or a single fold hat. And I believe it still looks pretty nice with the stretch and everything. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I really like the colorway. I think it's very, very fall. This might be a Christmas gift that I give to one of my cousins, but yeah, I really, really enjoy the colorway. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or give it as a Christmas gift, but this yarn is honestly probably one of the softest yarns I've ever felt in my life. It's just so warm, so cozy, and so soft. So I think it would be a great gift to give to someone. And the colorway is really, really nice. It is, like I said, it's called Squirrel. And it looks like exactly like a red squirrel that you would see on the park or in the park or on the trees, stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a weekend hat by Petite Knit. So you just work the brim, do to a certain amount, and then do some double knitting in order to create the fold. And then normally you would work some more and then do another row of double knitting in order to create the double fold. And then you would work a little bit more and then do the crown decreases. But like I said, I wasn't sure how much yarn I had left, so I opted to only do one round of double knitting for a single fold and then just work the crown and then into the decreases at the top. But it looks really long when it's not worn on your head, but when you wear it on your head, it stretches out quite a bit, and I think fits the crown of your head quite nice, or on my head anyway, since I have such a big head. But yeah, hopefully it'll fit nice to who I decide to give it to for Christmas. But yeah, it's just a 1x1 rib hat. I really enjoy the weekend hat pattern. It's very easy to follow and very quick. If you were to knit monogamously on this hat, you could easily finish it in a weekend, which is why it's called the weekend hat. So yeah, that is my third finished object this week, and it is another weekend hat by Petite Knit. And now we'll get into my last two finished objects, which are garments. I'll start with my most recent finished object, and it is the Holiday Slipover by Petite Knit. So this is it here. This is another vest. This finished object took me a little over a week to finish because you use such big needles, but I'll get into that. So back in Canada, I had seen a video by Two Pearls in a Pod where Sarah made a Dartmoor sweater, I believe, in Sandisgarn Poppy, and I really enjoyed that sweater, what she called her watercolor sweater, because the yarn just looked and it reminded me so much of watercolor, like I guess it did for her as well, because she called it that. But yeah, I just really love watercolor, and I really loved the colorways, so I went to my yarn shop there in Canada and picked up 3 balls. I was planning on making a hat or something. It is about 100 meters per 50 gram balls, so I picked up 3, so I had about 300 meters, so I wasn't quite sure what to make with it. But once I got to Korea, I wanted to use it to make a vest, and so I had been looking at patterns. I had the Holiday Slipover pattern already purchased because I misjudged it for my yellow vest, one of my first vests, or actually, yeah, one of my first vests ever. I was going to plan to make the Holiday Slipover with the yarn for that, but I had misread the pattern and didn't realize you have to hold 2 bulky weights together, so I wouldn't have had enough yarn from my yellow vest to make it. So I remembered that I had that pattern, and the Sandisgarn Poppy is a bulky weight, so I decided that I would just go and pick up some extra balls here in the colorway. I believe it was, I'm not sure the colorway number, but it's the autumn one. The autumn colors, I believe it's called. But yeah, I picked up some more balls of the autumn color. Let me just look it up. Yeah, so this is the autumn colorway. I believe it's colorway 2311. And it is 50% superfine alpaca, 35% cotton, and 15% merino. So I'm not sure if it's plastic or not, or maybe it's cotton, but it is a blown yarn or a chain yarn. So maybe the cotton is the chain. But yeah, this is the pattern here. It's worked up really, really quickly because you hold 2 yarns of a bulky and a lace together. So the lace I ended up picking up was kind of a cashmere nylon lace weight that I found at one of the Korean stores here called Som Knit. And it's, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's a red kind of burgundy colorway. It's very, very soft. So I picked up that and held it together, and then you work on 15 millimeter needles, so very, very big needles. And yeah, it just works up really, really quick because you're using such a large gauge. And then you just do your you start at the back, work just a square on the back, then do your increases for the armholes, and then you cast on for the shoulders like any other vest, and then work the shoulders, and then cast on stitches for the neckline, and then work the front, and then work the increases on the front, then cast on stitches on the arm sides, and then connect them in the round, and then just work in the round, and then just do a one by one rib arm and a 1 by 1 rib neck. And then on the bottom you actually split and do a kind of 1 by 1 slit here. So the front is different. You do 1 by 1, but it's separated from the back, which you also do by 1 by 1, but you make the back a little bit longer, as you can see here. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I really, really love the Sandisgarn Poppy, and I would definitely make more with it. I have is it a Sandisgarn book? I believe it's a Sandisgarn book. I have a Sandisgarn book that has a really nice bulky cardigan in it that I might use the Sandisgarn Poppy for that, to make that. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's very similar to the Kamaro Snuffug, so anything that uses that yarn, I believe you could switch it out for the Sandisgarn Poppy. But yeah, I really like how it looks like watercolor. And it's definitely a very beefy and chunky vest, so it's more of a winter vest, I would say. I guess that's why it's called the holiday slipover. You would wear it to your like holiday vacations or whatever in the winter. But yeah, this is my next finished object, and it is the holiday slipover by Petite Knit. And now moving on to my last finished object this video, it is my Christmas sweater. So I had been working on this monogamously for quite a bit, and I am finally finished it. And this is it here. So it's really, really nice. It's very heavy, very warm, very wintry, very Christmas sweatery. So I'm really, really happy with how it came out. The pattern itself is a really big size, so it's really, really loose fitting and very baggy, which I think is perfect for a Christmas sweater. But yeah, let me just talk about it a little bit. So I had watched I had mentioned in a previous video that I had watched a video by those twins who knit, and I believe it was Jessica who said that she was thinking about making this pattern for her Christmas / Valentine's Day sweater. And I really enjoyed the pattern when she showed it, and I thought I could adjust it to make it just a Christmas sweater, so that's what I ended up doing. And this is the Northern Augustins No4 sweater, so by Augustins Design or Augustins Knit, or Knitwear. But yeah, this is it here. So normally where you can see the green is supposed to be just red. It's supposed to be just kind of a 2-color sweater, colorwork sweater, but I decided to change the loops or whatever they're called to green, and then add some flecks in there to make them look like wreaths or Christmas lights hanging. So I really love the bow pattern or the bow design on this, and I think it adds a lot to it. But yeah, let me just talk about it a little bit and what I used for it. So the yarn I used for this is the Filcolana Peruvian, which is a worsted weight yarn, and it is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. And this was my first time using it, and I held it together with the pattern calls for you to hold a worsted with a lace weight. I believe her example, like the person that made it, her example uses Peer Gynt by Sandysgarn, but I wanted to try something a little bit different, so I went with the Filcolana. But you hold the worsted weight with a lace weight, so I'm holding all the colors are, or all the main wool is Filcolana Peruvian, but the lace weights I decided to hold with it is either Filcolana Atilia or Tin Silk Mohair by Sandysgarn. But yeah, this is kind of my first white sweater, so I'm pretty happy with it. The only thing is I'm worried about wearing it and then getting stains on it and then getting to wash them out. But yeah, I'll just talk about the construction a little bit. So you actually cast on the neckline, or the neck first, using a Jenny's Secret cast on. It's a one where you hold, where you need 3 needles, and you actually cast on 2 needles at once, and then you work only one of the needles up to the desired length that you want, and then fold it over on itself, and then do a 3 needle bind off to create the double folded neckband. And then instead of binding off, you actually just knit 2 together of the 3, and then you can work directly from the neckband right from there. So that's how you start it. There's no short rows or anything or shaping for the back. You just get right into the colorwork yoke, and then you work the colorwork yoke while doing your increases, and then once you're finished that, you split for your sleeves and body, and then work both of those, and both are finished with a double folded ribbed cuff for both the sleeves and the body. And then you just do a 3 needle bind off for both. I really enjoyed the 3 needle bind off. I think it's very easy to do and very clean and very simple. I really enjoyed that. And then casting on with the 3 needle was something very different than what I was used to, but I think it's very convenient, because once you cast it on, double fold it over, and then knit 2 together, you just have your perfect amount of stitches that you want to work with directly from the neckband, instead of having to go back and pick up stitches again and then create the neckband. So yeah, it's really nice. It's very baggy and loose. Like you can see here, the arm cuffs are very large, which is the design. It's how it's supposed to be. So they fit very open and very loose on your body, as well as the bottom as well. The only thing is, the example pictures that she has, the bottom ribbing is very tight to her body, so I'm not sure if she did more decreases than what was in the pattern, but for me it doesn't sit very tight. Like hers cinches in quite a bit, but mine doesn't do that, so I'm not sure if she did more decreases. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I'm waiting for it to turn December or Christmas time or some snow for me to start wearing it. But yeah, that's my last finished object, and it's my Christmas sweater, which is the Northern Augustins No4 by Augustins Knitwear. Yeah, since I had a lot of finished objects, I had nothing on my needles, so I decided to cast on a few more things. Like I said, I enjoy working on kind of a sweater or a garment, plus a vest, and then maybe one accessory on the go. So I casted on 3 new works in progress this week, or this video, and we'll just get right into it. So the first one that I started, which I'm really loving right now, is the terracotta sweater by Lynette. Let me just get it here. It's a little bit tangled with my other works in progress. Which is the terracotta sweater by Lynette. So I had just started it a couple days ago, and I'm slowly working the back panel. So the terracotta sweater, I'll just talk about a little bit why I decided to do this one. So when I first wanted to start to knit, I saw a video series from someone on TikTok who had made the porcelain sweater by Lynette, and I really loved how that sweater looked, and I wanted to work up to be able to make that sweater. And I bought some yarn for that, which is this yarn here, which is Bisimbush Petite Lamb's Wool in the color gray-green. And then I'm holding it with Crea Deluxe Soft Silk Mohair in the green color. I'm not sure, it's greenish blue. I'm not sure the exact color number. Oh, I might have it actually, one sec. The color is, it's their Silk Deluxe Silk Mohair in the color 33, and it is 45% silk, 33% mohair, and 22% baby alpaca. This is honestly the softest mohair I've ever worked with, maybe beside Filcolonatilia. I really love it, but yeah, and it's not too bad for the price in terms of compared to other mohairs, silk mohairs. So yeah, I would definitely recommend testing it out if you have it, or if you haven't already. But yeah, and then the lamb's wool is in the petite lamb's wool is 50 grams, you get 248 meters, and it is 100% lamb's wool, made in the UK. And it is in the color soft green for that one. So I had bought the yarn to make the porcelain sweater, but the more I got working and the more projects that I made, I've kind of fallen out of love with the porcelain sweater. But I had all the yarn, so I wanted to make something that I would be really happy with. And then I saw one of the YouTubers that I watch, Knits by Wilma, made just a beautiful rendition of the terracotta sweater. So I thought, let me check what yarn that uses. I looked it up, and it uses the exact same yarn for the porcelain sweater you can use for the terracotta sweater. So I thought it was perfect, and I just cast on the terracotta sweater using the same yarn as that is. So it's just a kind of textured, because it has a little bit of moss stitch or different knits and pearls to create some textures, as well as the colorwork sweater. So yeah, my main color I'm doing in this green, and then for the color work I have a wonderful, beautiful hand-dyed skein by ZZ Textiles in her merino fingering weight in the colorway Mother of Pearl. So this is going to be my contrast color for the color work, and then you're supposed to hold your fingerings with a lace weight. So I have just a white halo from Sandisgarn yarn. No, not Sandisgarn. By Saunders Yarn Co. I have their halo. It's like a soft silk mohair. I believe it's 72% mohair and 28% silk, I believe. Let me double check. %72 mohair, 28% silk. Yep, in the color Hibu. So it's just their white one. So I'm going to hold these two together for the color work, and then it's going to be that for the main sweater. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. This is my first sweater that I'll be doing where it's not a color work yoke, or where you don't do the color work right directly in the round, since you know, my other ones have always been color work yokes, the halibut sweater and then the Augustins No4, Northern Augustins No4. So I'm almost at the part to start the first chart of the color work. I have started casted on the back. You cast on, and then instead of doing German short rows, you work back and forth and then cast on stitches using backwards loop method until you get to your desired length. And then you work that a little bit, and then work a little textured patch on 3.5 millimeter needles. You're mainly working on 4 millimeter needles, so you have to change needles for the textured part. And then you work a little bit of stock knit, and then you get right into the color work pattern. So I'm just doing a couple more rows of stock knit, and then I'm going to go right into the color work pattern. So it'll be interesting to see, because I haven't done wrong side row or wrong side color work before. So I'll have to watch some videos on how to do that in order to create a nice tension, and in order to make it not pull in too tightly and make it look good on both sides. So yeah, but I really love this Bishimbush Petite Lamb's wool. I think it's really, really nice for color work. I bought a Japanese pattern book that has really beautiful vests in it, and I think the Bishimbush would be perfect for the color work vests in that book. So I think I'll be using this a lot more. I really enjoy this yarn. But yeah, that's my first work in progress. This working on now. I believe it'll take me quite a long time, because it is a fingering weight sweater, color work, and you have to do color work on the right, or color work flat to start. So I'm not in too much of a rush, but yeah, I'm not sure how long it'll take me. So that might be a long staple in my videos moving forward, and that is the terracotta sweater by Lynette. And now my second work in progress this week, or this video, is another vest, and it is the Tessellation Vest by Andrea Gaughan. So if you don't know much about Andrea Gaughan, she is a knitwear designer who, for Rhinebeck, likes to make patterns for Rhinebeck, which is a very large sheep and wool show in upstate New York. Every year she makes a pattern that that knitters kind of make for who are going to Rhinebeck. They all make it, and then they go and do a big meet and greet up on some hill there. So this year's pattern was the framed sweater, but I didn't see that they released a framed vest. So I would be interested in making a framed vest, but yeah, this year's was a framed sweater. But the year before, I believe, was the tessellation sweater or the tessellation vest, and I'm doing the tessellation vest. So what the tessellation vest is basically a vest where you use 3 colors of, you use 1 sport weight yarn, 1 color changing yarn, and then 1 Surrey, and you work it, what's the technique called? Oh, mosaic knitting. So the tessellation vest is a mosaic vest where you basically work 1 color at a time, but you're slipping the stitches of the other color and then going back the next row with a different color, and then slipping the stitch that's not its color and working the stitch that you've slipped. So it creates a checkered pattern. So you're actually working very similar to what's it called? Brioche, where you have to work a couple rows in order to get 1 row. So yeah, and the yarn I'm using for this I'm really excited about, because ever since I started knitting, I wanted to use some Angora rabbit yarn, and I had 2 out of the 3 yarns in stash for this vest when I came to Korea. So I thought I would get some yarn here for the last color, which is the main colorway, in order to create the vest. And I stumbled upon a sport weight 90% merino, 10% Angora rabbit at one of the shops here in Korea, and I knew that this had to be the missing yarn for the tessellation vest. So this is the Bouculain Merino Angora 10, and it is in the color lychee. Yeah, lychee. So like I said, it's 90% merino and 10% Angora rabbit from France, and this is in the color lychee. So just that nice kind of purplish pink color. And the other yarns I'm holding together is the Cloud from Good Grief yarn store in Toronto in the color eucalyptus, and then I'm holding it with, or working it with the Spin Cycles dye and wool in the Knitting Loft exclusive colorway. So I had these two yarns already in stash, so I just wanted to pick up this yarn to match with it. So you can't really see, or I don't know if you can see, but the Spin Cycle yarn, it color changes from blue to pink and then back to blue. So I thought this Angora yarn color would be a perfect match for that. So I just cast this one on yesterday, so I don't have a lot done, but this is my first time working bottom up. So you actually, for my size, I believe that I'm doing the second largest size, you cast on 308 stitches, which was quite a lot, and then work one by one rib on 2.75 millimeter needles. So this took me basically almost all day to work this rib, and now I'm onto the body. So I just knit one round on, you work on 3.5 millimeter needles, so I just worked one round with the main color, and then I have to add in one of the other colors, work 2 rounds by slipping it correctly, and then work in the neck, and then you knit again with the main color, and then work another 2 rounds with the other color, and then repeat for the body. And then once you get to the armholes, you split and then work flat, and then do 3 needle bind off up on the shoulders for both. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how it turns out. I really love how the vest looks in the examples. The only thing I'm worried about is that I have never done a bottom up pattern before, and I'm worried that I might make it too short, because normally I add a lot of extra length to all the garments that I make for the body based on the pattern, but I'm hoping if I just keep trying it on and checking that I'll be able to split for the armholes at the correct point and it'll be the right length. But yeah, that's my second work in progress this week, and it is the Tessellation Vest by Andrea Gaughan. No, not Andrea Gaughan. Sorry, it's not Andrea Gaughan who makes it. It is Andrea Mowry. It's not Andrea Gaughan. I have Andrea Gaughan in my mind because my next pattern is by Andrea Gaughan. It's Andrea Mowry who makes the Rhinebeck sweaters and the Tessellation Vest pattern. Yeah, Andrea Mowry. Yeah, sorry for that. And then the next one, my next work in progress is by Andrea Gaughan, and it is the Essential Beanie. So the Essential Beanie is essentially a pattern where she has instructions for every different yarn weight or combination that you want to use, and you can make the Essential Beanie, which is a 2x2 ribbed beanie, and I'm making this for a Christmas gift or a gift knit. Yes, a holiday gift knit. And I'm using some yarn I bought here in Korea, and it's the topping yarn. So it's basically like a tweed yarn. It is 65% superfine wool, 5% nep, which I believe is the tweed, and then 30% cashmere nylon. So I'm actually, this is a sport weight. You get 425 meters per 100 grams, and this cone is 200 grams. So I actually am holding it double to get a DK weight, and I'm just cast this on yesterday as well, and just did about 2 rows of the 2x2 rib. So you just work in the 2x2 rib. She has instructions for if you want to do a double folded brim or a single folded brim, and then you just do down crown decreases like a normal hat would. But yeah, this is just another quick start and a my third work in progress, which is an accessory this week. And now finally, let's get to my acquisitions. I only have 2 this week, and the first one I already showed you. It's the Angora merino yarn from Boucle Lane. It's a very weird name because there's a lot of L's, but Boucle Lane, and it's a French brand. But then the next one I got is from Korea, from Yo Metal Ital, I believe it's called, which is like the second day of September, I think, roughly translated, and it is 100% wool in this gorgeous, gorgeous blue color. So my plans for this is to create the Brady Loop sweater by Other Loops. I had just briefly cast it on, holding it with that cashmere nylon lace that I had used for my holiday slipover vest, but in a different color. And I just cast it on and worked a very small amount, and then decided to put it on hold because I don't think I'd be wearing it in the winter, and started working on the terracotta sweater instead. But I really love the pattern, and I really like how it's looking with the blue, which is just a wonderful blue color. It's kind of slightly marled with green, which I love, and the 100% wool is pretty nice. Yeah, and I'm just, my second acquisition. So this ball, I believe, is about almost 400 grams, and it is a fingering weight. So about 400 meters per 100 grams for this one here, which is 100% wool. Yeah, I believe that is it for this video. So yeah, very, very heavily full video this week, with all my finished objects and my new casts on. Not so much for acquisitions, but I'm trying to cut down on my yarn buying and using yarn that I have in stash. I do have some other projects that I have cast on, but I'm not sure if I'll keep them, so I didn't talk about them. But I started the heart chain sweater from Mayo, using Issachar Aran tweed, but it's in the colorway black, and I think the sweater, you really need to be able to see the heart cables to make the sweater really come alive and look beautiful, and I don't think it comes across in the black cabling. So I think I'm going to frog that and try to find another pattern that would better use the Issachar Aran tweed in the black colorway. And then I was thinking about getting like kind of a Bordeaux color. I was thinking the Bordeaux by Gilead for the heart chain sweater would look really, really beautiful. So I think I might do that in the future. And then I started a Busan sweater with some yarn I bought here in Korea, but the yarn I bought in Korea had too much nylon, and it just does not stretch at all. So I'm going to frog that for sure, and I wanted to make a very dark chocolate brown Busan sweater in the future. So yeah, that's just some plans or ideas I was thinking of. But yeah, thanks so much for watching all these videos, or all the way through if you do, or coming back to watch. If you enjoyed the video, please don't hesitate to subscribe, and then follow me on Instagram. I do post more regularly on Instagram, and I do post reels of me checking out the yarn stores here in South Korea. So yeah, you can follow me over there, or on my photography Instagram, where I do street photography here in South Korea. So yeah, if you enjoy that kind of stuff, don't hesitate to follow me over there. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys probably in another 2 weeks or so. Bye.